We started as friends.
Barkada.
Friends
tayo siguro mga 2 to 3 years, no?
Almost 3, yeah. More than 2 years. Hanging out before we ever
started seeing each other
on a romantic.
Well, we weren't Christian then.
No.
Okay, we weren't Christian then. I was the one who said, Ron, maybe this is 5 or 6 years into our relationship. I said one day, Ron, I feel like we should get to know God more. A good friend of mine, si Enchan Kaimo, I called her, and then so she invited me to go to a midweek fellowship with her, because I told her I wanted to get to know more about this Jesus thing. So, and I said, Ron, would you want to go with me? And he said, yeah.
And the day that Enchan brought us there, she brought along her husband, Mari Kaimo, and they shared with us their story to encourage us that, hey, you're not alone.
We were blown away by their story.
You're not alone in coming to God as two people who have,
generally messed up in life.
In terms of relationships, and even at the relationship that we were going on.
Ron and I had such a good relationship. We were so well connected with each other. We connected with the Lord. Siyempre medyo baliktad. Una kami nag-connect, and then about 5 or 6 years into our relationship, we realized that connection is bitin. It's not enough. So when we started connecting with God, and then connecting with each other, so parang naging mas buo siya.
Sometimes we tend to put too much on
emphasis. What?
On signs. I want the best for me. Who do you have the best for me? Sana tall, dark, and handsome. And then they start looking around, and they start thinking, and all of a sudden, look, it's the letter T, Tony. That's the one for me. So we start putting things into signs like that. There's a big danger there, because even after you get married or into a relationship, it's not instant. It's a growing thing. Don't be looking for God's best, because then that means you start to, every person you start to look at, you start to, is this God's best for me? Is this God's best? You're not living life anymore.
Oh, man.
And when you're not living life, how can you be God's best for somebody?
You need to take practical steps, making yourself attractive inside and outside, going out and meeting people, and also be very careful. Ito madalas to mangyari sa mga single ladies. Don't lay claim to a guy unless he starts courting you.
Most people say when they are in that relationship and they're thinking, let's get married, they're thinking, this is so, nice and lovey-dovey. What they need to realize is love is really a choice, just as marriage is a choice, okay? And then they have to understand that when they choose that path, as Joyce said, there's a third party involved. So when you talk about marriage, very much spiritually there's a connection there, and that is you're bringing in the Lord into your relationship.